You're listening to Nice-ish, a podcast about reality TV and your opinions, with your hosts, Cindy and Grace. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 42 of Nice-ish. I'm Cindy, and I'm here with my co-host, Grace. Hi, Grace.
Hi. How's it going?
Things are good. We're starting to have nicer weather, warmer out, then cold, then warm.
It messes with my head so badly, allergy-wise. It's just like, I can't handle it. It's like, if it's going to be nice, just, don't tease me.
We had it 70, nice. And then literally the next day was 40.
Yes.
That's a lot. It's like a mood swing.
I know. Like, Mother Earth is having a mood swing.
Yeah. So we were passing by a house like a couple streets over, and you had noticed that they have these LED lights up.
Yeah. It's like under their
awnings?
Yeah, like in front, like by their door. Would you call that an awning? Or it's like where the roof extends,
but then it actually goes the length of the house, like under their gutters and everything too. Yeah.
And it's so cool because they change the colors for every season. Mm-hmm. So, or holiday. Like for Christmas, obviously it was red and green. And then for Valentine's Day, they were like pink and red. And then for St. Patrick's Day, they were all like different shades of green. And I want to do that.
Yeah, I liked them too. And the thing is they didn't look like Christmas lights.
Right. That's exactly the point too, is that it's not like you're like, why do these people have their Christmas lights up still? Like, take them down, you fool. Like, why do you have them up? Yeah, they didn't look like that at all.
Right. No, they looked really nice, and I would like to... The thing is I don't even know how we'd put them up. I am not that person.
No, I have no idea how they put them up, because I'm like, I know they can't just be stuck on there like that. They have to have been installed, I think. I don't know.
I don't know. And then I'm not doing that.
Well, you probably have to have somebody come and do it. You're not going to do it.
Okay, veto.
No, it's cool. And then I remember seeing a video on, I think it was either TikTok or Instagram. It was probably, I saw it on Instagram, but it was on TikTok because I'm that person that gets things like a month later than when the actual TikTok video came out.
Right.
But it was of these LED lights too. And the husband pulled up in the driveway and was like, oh, my wife is mad. She's got the red lights on right now. So it means that it would coordinate with her mood. If she was hungry, if she was happy. And then the one that was really funny is if she was really pissed at one of their kids, it would look like cop sirens. Like it would be
my gosh,
going around the house.
So he knew whether to go in the house or not?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much they cost, but I liked the look. I thought it was really pretty. But the thought of hiring somebody to do this is not appealing.
Yeah, I'd have to.
I don't even know who do you call. Who'd you even get?
Yeah, I know, an LED light specialist. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they bought them like off Amazon and then you have to have somebody like work it into your electrical, or.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how you look up handyman.
Well, I mean, because they're not battery operated.
Right.
They have to be like hooked up to something.
Well, wouldn't they just plug in?
I don't know. Now we're getting in the Christmas light field, like genre here. And I don't think they're that.
Okay, this is a no. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think you need to think about it.
I will think about it, but my mood says no.
Well, you know what? I would know that if we had the lights.
Yeah.
Because you could tell me that.
They'd be on red all the time. Let's talk about this week's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I did not realize that next week is the finale already.
They're going to end it on a trip?
It would appear that way.
Oh, you know what? They did that for Salt Lake, though. Now that I think about it, they ended it there, too. I don't know why I thought that was very uncommon, but...
Well, the season has kind of gone by pretty fast for me.
I know. I thought so, too. Has it been shortened, or has it been really as long as all the other ones?
I don't really know. Great question. I don't know. Well, the women are in St. Lucia on their cast trip, And it starts with all the women at the table, and Dorit brings up Sutton's hypocrisy about the whole sisterhood thing. She's really defensive, Dorit. She's not in a good mood. And she feels like Sutton doesn't want to fix things. And Sutton actually apologizes to her. I think she does it twice.
Yeah.
But what I thought seemed like a sincere apology did not go over well with Dorit.
No, it did not.
And at one point, we even have Woes saying, Dorit, take the apology.
I know. Because I think you have to on these shows.
Yeah.
The whole name of the game of this is literally about moving on and it going quickly. And I don't know. For me, it's just like whether she means it or not, just take it. Because then if she does something to you again, you could be like, you apologize for it. That was just bullshit.
Right.
I mean...
And I took your apology and I accepted it, and then you're doing it again.
Right. And then that would make her look terrible. So
Well, Woes said something interesting, which was that she felt Dorit had a problem with giving and receiving apologies. Not great.
I know. She kind of does.
Yeah, it was very insightful.
Right. So I do think that the way that she was kind of getting ready to apologize to Sutton was a little weird too, because she was like, the joke I made, and they're like, no, rephrase it. And she's like, okay, the comment I made, that type of deal. So I don't know. She does have, it's probably just because Dorit is so uninterested in Sutton that she's just like over it, because I actually think that she was able to offer Kyle kind of an apology. Like they worked out their stuff, but that's because they were so close. I just don't think she cares for Sutton at all.
No.
So she doesn't want to take it.
I would agree. I think Woes really prodded that apology out of Dorit.
Yeah.
And like, this is good. She gave you one. She gave you two. Now, Dorit, you give her one.
Yeah.
And Dorit was not really like interested.
No,
but she did anyway. So, and that's what I mean. So what if it wasn't a sincere apology? She's saying you're sorry. This is your chance to just move on.
I know, which is weird because I actually kind of felt that it was. It was the first time that I thought Sutton seemed sincere, but then I never know with Sutton. She can be one way. She could mean it one time and then not mean it in the next. Right. So I don't really know, but I always get duped by these women. I think that they're sincere, and I need to know that none of these bitches are. Yeah. None of them.
Then Woes mentions with all the women that she saw Mauricio out on a date with, I think she called her some ugly chick or something close to that, which cracked me up.
She's not cute.
Yeah. Maybe that's what she said. She wasn't very
not
cute. And so she told everybody that she called Kyle. Yeah. And she left a 3.5-minute voice message telling her, look, do you want me to push him in the water? I'll push him in the water. I will run up on that man. I will do whatever you want to do. Tell me what you want me to do.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, this is a girl's girl.
100%.
It's who you want on your side, who you want as a friend.
Yes. Oh my God. I love her. I think she's so great. I think she's great for this cast because, well, she may have sided-ish with Dorit because she likes her. She can kind of be like, Dorit, you should take the apology. Kyle, we didn't get off to the right, on the right foot, but I went to your house. I'm making an effort. And then I saw your husband, who you're separated from, out, and I'm going to call you and I'm going to tell you what do I do?
And even if this woman he was out with was gorgeous, she's like, no, she was ugly. She was disgusting.
Yep.
That's a friend.
It is.
So after the pic with Mo and this other bimbo came out, Kyle was photographed at a Morgan concert. I don't know her last name. Do you know? What's her name? Morgan what?
Wade. Sorry.
Morgan Wade. There you go.
Sorry.
Way to go.
Thanks.
But Garcelle brings it up and is like, is this getting back at Mo that you want your picture in and all this stuff? And Kyle's like, that's dumb. It was planned for months in advance, and she just kind of wants her to drop it. So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about Kyle never wanting to talk about Morgan?
I don't really care. It's just kind of like if they're not really in a relationship and she's not bringing her around and she's not at parties and she's not being filmed,
Right.
then I'm kind of like, well, then I don't really care. It's not on the show, so I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me, I guess.
Well, it's kind of how Sutton feels. She's telling Garcelle, look, if she doesn't want to talk about it, then we need to back off, which is interesting because Garcelle's like, oh, okay, there you are defending Kyle, who doesn't ever defend you again.
Right.
So in talking about the separation between Kyle and Mauricio, I had posted, I can understand a separation if you're going to counseling and trying to save your marriage, but separating and hooking up with other people, what's the point? And we got a reply back from @JukeboxAries, who said, this is what I don't get. Like, separated, dating and sleeping with other people, and are you going to come back together and just pretend you aren't aware of who they've been with?
Yeah, I don't get this either. It's just like, and then Kyle's saying, I think we need to get a divorce. And Mauricio's like, like, let's wait type deal.
Do you think this has anything to do with money?
I don't see how it could be in their scenario. They've been married way too long. Like, for anything to change in that way.
Plus, even splitting up the money, there's still a whole shitload of money for each of them.
Right.
So it's not like somebody who makes $50,000 a year and then has to split that with a partner.
Yeah.
We're talking about people who live in Beverly Hills who have like bags of money.
Right. And it's like Kyle has her own money from doing the show and stuff. Obviously, Mauricio has the agency and things like that. So it's not even like there's this, huge money split where, like you said, somebody has to share $50,000.
Right.
So they each have their own stuff. So I don't really get what's taking so long.
I don't either. That's what a lot of the comments were in regard to why they would still be there. Maybe it's something financial or whatever. It just didn't really make sense to me. And the whole separation doesn't either. This is exactly what's going on for Kyle. She's separated thinking, what, we might get back together?
Yeah.
And he's moved out and is dating people.
Right. I mean, he moved out of the house, too.
Right.
So it's like, it's done. And he's buying furniture.
You're not going to counseling together. You're not trying to work things out. You're just, waiting for him to, like, come back? No. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
So Bose schedules a catamaran trip. And the women all go out. They all look great. Erica, I've never seen look so good. She looks fantastic. But Sutton brings up on the boat.
Oh, these damn boats, I swear.
Yeah, I know. Sutton brings up the comment about money again and about saying her wallet's bigger than Dorit's. And she wants everyone to know that her apology was genuine and that she really meant it. She says, I said a bad thing, and it's not like me to say things like that. And this is where Erica jumps in.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, Sutton, I've noticed that you're very critical and not very compassionate to women when they're going through the worst times in their lives. And they do this flashback of the dinner where Sutton is questioning Erica about her finances and getting $20 million or whatever it was deposited in her account and, you know, pointing out what she thinks are lies. They flash back to her asking Kyle if she wants to share anything about her marriage because she's not wearing her wedding ring. And then recently with Dorit, Erica brings up. So she's like, you are posing as a friend, but then working as our enemy.
I mean, I can't really disagree with that. I think that's actually kind of what's happening. I realize that this show is just full of hypocrisy, so I understand that. The problem is, though, is with Sutton, is that it's just so blatant. Like, you're going to tell Dorit that you'll be there for her at the start of the season. I'll help you out. I'll do that. And then when you kind of get into a little bit of a fight here, then you completely throw in her face that she doesn't have money and that you're mad about your life and stuff like that. And it's like, how do you go from one to the other?
No, I agree. They all are hypocrites, and they all kind of do the same thing, but Sutton plays a bit of a semantics game here, because Erica is talking about her mistreating the women in the group and just says women, and Sutton's like, oh, I don't mistreat all women. And she's like, no, not all women, us three.
Yeah.
She goes, you said women, like worldwide. And Erica's getting annoyed. She's like, stop being ridiculous.
I know.
I'm
It's so
clarifying it now. I mean us three.
Right.
And I do think you do that.
Yeah. This was so dumb, though, because the whole semantics thing I felt was just like I'm buying time type thing. Because
Well, Erica had receipts, and she's like, you give me a divorce care package, and then the next minute you're calling me a liar about all this. And Sutton says something like, oh, well, that's not my problem, it's yours. And she goes, no, actually, it is your problem because you said it. Erica wasn't backing down.
Right.
So Sutton kind of shouts out, what do you all fucking want from me? And Garcelle notices that Kyle hasn't had Sutton's back the whole time, and she's tired of coming to her side and her rescue when Sutton doesn't reciprocate and have her back. So she's like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to sit here. Which is fair.
I think that's fair, and it's probably for the best. It's like, Garcelle, just Sutton is a sinking ship.
Yeah.
Just, don't try to defend her all the time. Let her just do it herself, because she doesn't need you, especially right now. Just let it be between Erica and Sutton at this
Dorit
point.
tries to tell Sutton what's bothering her, and Sutton says she doesn't care and wants to put their friendship on ice. So there you go.
There you go.
She walks off, calls them all fucking bitches, and Kathy is the only one to get up and go check on her, and she doesn't even want Kathy there. She's like, I need minutes alone. Please leave. So there's no sneak peek at the end of the episode. We just kind of get a to be continued.
Yeah.
But then Bravo does release a sneak peek like a day or two later, and I posted that on social media, and I had said, in next week's Beverly Hills, we see flashbacks from both sides. Where do you fall in Sutton versus kind of everybody? And we got over 200 comments about it.
Ooh.
It seemed to be more pro everybody than Sutton, but there was a mixed bag, so I'm going to read you 3.
Okay.
The first is from @Mario who was team everybody else.
Okay.
And said, the flashbacks are the women reacting to Sutton's questions, gossiping, and wondering. If she now feels like they were trying to break her, she should remember who handed them the hammer.
Wow, Mario.
Fancy. What do you think?
I tend to side more with the team everybody else at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not a Sutton fan. I feel like she puts a lot of this on herself. And also, I know that this is the show. I get it, that you got to talk about people.
Right.
And that's what happens. But I feel like she does a lot of self-inflicting. So, yeah, I tend to agree with Mario more than the team Suttoners.
I will say that I think she doesn't have the luxury of having a lot of friends in the group. So they can all tend to side with each other.
That's true.
And then all she has is Garcelle. And if she doesn't stick up for Garcelle, Garcelle's finally going to bail.
Right. Well, that's also the problem, though. Maybe that's why you don't have a lot of friends.
Could be.
Because you are loyal to no one. So.
All right. Well, then from the Team Sutton side, we have a post from @FedUpMoms with a Z who said, as a viewer, I enjoy Sutton and Garcelle ripping into the Fox 5, calling out the hypocrisy and making them sweat as they've done to other cast members. As a cast member, they're right about Sutton posing as a friend, but really an enemy. Two things can exist.
That's actually an excellent point. Is that, see, we need more people like this that can just be in the middle and can see, everything, that this is a show.
Right.
So, yeah, I definitely think that they're right. But as a viewer, I don't know. Sometimes I don't enjoy Sutton. She makes me very uncomfortable sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm just like, what are you doing? Why? Why are you saying these things? And I get it. I get that they have been mean and that they have done things to each other and said things to Sutton as well. But for me, I just can't get on board with Sutton.
Well, then we have one more tweet from @LauraWhatAday.BlueSky, who says, I'm kind of divided. Although she comes across awkward and can be judgy, Sutton brought things to the table that needed to be addressed. Erica regarding Tom and the victims, and Kyle's marriage, and Morgan. Yes, she needs to be able to handle criticism, but her behavior doesn't erase theirs. I kind of think that's mostly what the issue is with people who are Team Sutton. The other side does so much shit to each other, and for them to sit in judgment of her when they've been pretty awful.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, let's not all gang up on Sutton, because we can pick you all apart one at a time if we need to.
Right. Sure. I think the biggest thing for me is that Sutton just really doesn't know how to come across as funny and throw shade.
Not well at all. I agree.
All she is just either walking away or she is super mean. You get one or the other. There's no in between. There's no middle. It's not funny. It's just nasty. It's not like you have Garcelle, who's like, when she first started her season on here, when she was like, I have two fish. One is like all colorful and fancy, and that one's Dorit, and then the plain goldfish is Kyle.
Yes.
Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
And it's shady, but it's just supposed to be funny.
Right.
Nothing Sutton says is funny. It's just all super mean. It's all really nasty, and you go from being super nice to that, and it's just like nobody wants to be friends with you.
Right. I agree. She'll have moments with like the poor eat or whatever in her confessional, but when she's with the women and she has to talk to them, she either goes for the jugular or cries and walks off.
Right.
And I mean, I know you hate a walk off.
Oh God, it's insane. It's just like, just stay there. Stop running. I hate it. I hate it more than anything. So yeah, it's just like, she's got to get better at that, because she will lose people. And I am telling you now, at some point it'll happen with Garcelle.
Yeah, well,
it will.
There's fractures.
Yes, it will happen. And when that happens, I will be very interested to see who goes to what side here.
Right.
Because right now everybody's like, oh yeah, the other women suck, and get them Sutton, that type of deal. Well, when it turns, and it will, we'll see what happens.
Well, speaking of Garcelle and where she'll go, I have one last post that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And it was something that I liked after I read it and thought, okay, wow, this is well thought out and it's super insightful. And I thought, I want to share this.
Okay.
So it's a post from @WhatBunnySaid. And she says, I don't give a fuck if Garcelle keeps her foot on these ladies' necks, because look at how they've treated her in the past. Y'all willfully forget how nasty the Fox 5 were to her, to the point where Andy joined and had to apologize because Garcelle was on the verge of tears. Fuck them, actually. And so she posted a clip with it that I had you watch before we decided to talk about this. And the video's from season 12 of the reunion. And it had the cast of Kyle, Rinna, Erica, Dorit. Now, Teddy was already gone, but she was part of this Fox 5 or whatever that they nicknamed themselves.
Yeah.
And then there was Garcelle, Crystal, Sutton, and Diana this season. Oh, God. And the clip was kind of hard to watch. I thought it was uncomfortable. But I think when we move on from season to season, we tend to forget some of the really nasty shit that goes on. Because nasty shit happens every season.
Right. That's why we are able to forget.
Right. So then we start talking about that and forget what else they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So in this reunion clip that she posted, it starts with the women talking about Garcelle's book that she had released. And the women had a group chat that clearly Garcelle wasn't part of. So seeing all these women sitting there and then you feeling excluded because you know they're talking about you and they have a separate group chat. Talk about isolating.
Right.
So that was just nasty right away. Mm-hmm. Then they were kind of snickering about a video that Rinna posted to the group chat. And it was her throwing away Garcelle's book in the trash. Mm-hmm. She shares it with the group, and then Erica shares it on social media.
Yeah, I don't know that was supposed to happen.
No, she did it. She's like, I added a Oscar the Grouch emoji.
Right. And
said, she literally tagged Garcelle, even though Garcelle had her blocked. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know you'll see this.
Right.
It was mean.
It was incredibly mean, yes.
So Andy's talking about it, and then he kind of changes the subject and starts talking about what was in the trash, and doesn't she recycle and stuff, not even looking over at Garcelle, who looked, I mean, uncomfortable at best and on the verge of tears at worst. Mm-hmm. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And then later, he acknowledges this on his Radio Andy show and says he called her and said, it was me. It was my mistake. I didn't keep up with what was going on. I started talking about something else. I never came back to it. I respect you, and I am so sorry that I derailed this conversation. Mm-hmm. So she was dealing with all of that from this group. Then remember that Erica yelled at Garcelle's son at some event.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I forgot exactly what she said. See, my memory is shit, and you know that.
Yeah.
But she yelled at her son, who then went over and told Garcelle. So Garcelle goes over and she's like, why are you talking to my kid like this? Mm-hmm. And then when Kyle, Mauricio, Dorit, and PK are all talking about it, they start laughing about it later. Mm-hmm. That's shitty.
Right.
I remember us all thinking it was super shitty.
Yeah.
So I know that they had been called out on it at the time. At least I know I did. I thought it was disgusting. Right. But so then there's that. And then there's that whole thing with Garcelle's youngest son getting racist posts on his Instagram. Mm-hmm. And she thought maybe Diana had something to do with it. I don't know if she did or not. All alleged. I don't know if they ever found out who did. But
oh, right, yeah.
That's the point, though, of this post. Garcelle has endured a lot of shit from these women, and it's not just one. It was all of them at once.
Yeah.
And so I could understand Garcelle saying, look, I know I have to move on. I will move on. I won't forget. So a lot of these times, if she makes some kind of snarky comment, in the back of my mind, I'd be like, yeah, that's for my kid. Mm-hmm. That's for what you said about my kid, because I wouldn't forget that.
Right.
Even though I've forgotten all of this.
Yeah, if I asked you, like, hey, what did this one person say about me when I was in 6th grade, you would be like, they said this.
Yes, I would know.
You would know.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, I would remember everything. I would fight a 6th grader if I had to. I have no shame.
I know you would, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So it kind of ends with a to be continued. We know that Sutton's off by herself. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be the finale, and it's probably going to be good.
Yeah, I think it will be good. We'll see where everybody ends up. I mean, I think it was good of you two to bring up the Garcelle stuff too, because, yeah, I forgot about a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's just the problem with these type of shows, is that you're forced to move on if you want to stay on.
And so much bad shit happens that you're like, started talking about the next thing.
Right. And I think it's good that Rinna isn't there anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of dissipated, I think, a lot of the problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Rinna was great in her prime, but toward the end, I felt like she was just kind of acting a lot.
I was a big fan of hers at first. I mean, I liked her, but I even turned towards the end. It was ugly to me.
Right.
I didn't like it. It wasn't enjoyable to watch.
No.
I walked away angry. Mm-hmm. And that's why I actually we didn't watch last season.
Right. Yeah. Okay. It was last season.
But
yeah.
I mean, that wasn't, Rinna was gone.
Oh yeah, she was
prior
gone
to
before
But
that.
I don't, if I'm not enjoying it, then what's the point?
What's the point?
What are we doing here? So looking forward to next week's finale and then a clip from the reunion.
Oh yeah, I know. We'll see how that goes.
Rumor has it Kyle walked off multiple times.
You're joking, are you really?
No.
Why? God, her and Sutton have a problem. Maybe that's why they can't get along, is because they're too similar.
I mean, walking off in the reunion?
Why? I just like, come on.
There's
just
nowhere to
sit there.
go.
I know. And what are you walking off about, too? What does Kyle have to walk off about?
Maybe the Morgan stuff. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
didn't
Kyle
care.
took the brunt of a lot of stuff with Dorit in the beginning. I mean,
yeah,
it kind of
that's true.
switched to
Oh,
Dorit
yeah, I
and
kind of
Sutton,
forgot
but
about that. Yeah, that's true.
So,
Okay, yeah, good point.
thanks.
Let's get into this week's episode of Summer House. So there were a couple of things that I'll kind of point out in the episode. Some of the stuff was a little bit filler, but there were a couple main things that we'll talk about.
Sure.
The first one is that Carl is throwing this pirate party at the house, and he mentions that he's inviting a girl that he's been talking to since October. And I hear October, and it's like, a car screeching. Like, what?
Yeah.
What'd you say? October, because we've been hearing a lot about you judging Lindsay for moving on quickly, and that you just haven't, this is where I call bullshit on the head. You haven't had sex in a year. As soon as he said that, I'm like, okay, no. You had made a post that said, so Carl was talking to a chick in October, but he needs healing from Lindsay moving too fast. And you had gotten a response back from Wasting Time with Bravo, who said, nothing about Carl tracks. I believe he lies and exaggerates and manipulates to get sympathy and avoid all accountability.
Yeah, I completely believe this about Carl. I think he wanted everyone to think Lindsay was gross and a bit of a
Hoe bag?
Yeah, a bit of a hoe bag is what he's implying.
Right, yeah.
Because she's met someone else. And so he wants us to think that he is at home, sitting in bed with the lights off, thinking about all the ways he needs to heal from this whole experience. And it's bullshit.
Yes, it is. 100%. And you had told me, too, that you had gotten some comments that it was like comparing apples to oranges, which is like Lindsay got pregnant and he's talking to somebody. So I really don't think that we should compare the two at all.
Right.
Which I think is bullshit.
I would agree. She got pregnant in March.
Right.
Or at the very end of February, early March, because she had the baby in December. So if Carl's talking to someone in October and she didn't get pregnant till March, why? That's the point.
Yeah.
It's that they were both moving on in October. That's the point, Yolanda.
Like, she was probably talking to Turner in October. They were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
She wasn't pregnant yet.
Right.
So they were both doing the exact same thing at the same time. So I don't buy Carl's anything at all.
No, same.
Carl also mentions this episode that he is going through with starting his non-alcoholic bar in Brooklyn called Soft Bar. Okay, out of your 1 million ideas, you went with this one. You finally settled on something.
And I don't think Lindsay would have necessarily had a problem if he had a whole plan and is like, this is my business plan. This is what I'm doing. This is the only thing I want to do.
That's it.
When
and
he
I'm
went
devoted to
yes,
this.
but when he went to her, this was like plan number 39.
Right.
So she's just like, a bar? What? You know, you need a job, not like to get a loan or something. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. So, you know, whatever. He thanked her.
Well, he thanked her at the very end before blaming her for it. Like, Lindsay told me no. So, like, I couldn't do it. I felt so restrained. So, you know, like, oh my God, everything he says just drives me crazy.
I would agree.
The other point in this episode that we will talk about is Kyle. It's mostly about the men. Have you noticed that all the women have been, you know, fairly decent? All the men have these stupid problems.
I know.
They're babies.
God, if we didn't need men for to reach high things, we wouldn't need men at all.
Exactly. So Kyle is bitching about Craig to Carl, just that he's still super mad about the whole spritzer thing. He keeps saying that he lied to him and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Being a super wimpy baby.
Yeah.
Craig is in the house this episode with Paige, and they're kind of celebrating Amanda's birthday. And Jesse announces that Craig and Kyle seem to be getting along, and that have they squashed the beef.
Squash their beef. That was a great game at BravoCon.
I know. They should play that just in the clubhouse in general.
Oh, my God.
I don't know why they don't. It's a great game.
Well, because you need them both there, probably.
Do you? I don't know.
Yeah.
It could work either way. I feel like it could work.
Well, Jesse opening his big mouth was just like...
He's a moron.
Way to make it uncomfortable.
I know. He completely did. And he knew that they hadn't. So he was just going to...
I know. He's just trying to make it more awkward so they could watch.
The way that these men throw each other under the bus is absolutely hilarious. Kyle did it to West a few episodes back, and then Jesse just did it to Kyle. And it's so funny. So, yeah, no. They have not squashed anything yet. Kyle just sounds hammered already to me.
Yeah.
And so he keeps asking Craig, like, let's talk about it. Let's get it out of the way now. And Craig's like, I want to just talk about it tomorrow. Like 3 times he says that he's just like, I don't want to do it now.
At one point, Kyle's like, we're doing it tonight.
I know. I'm like, what?
He's like, dude, it was a 5-hour trip. I'm tired. I really don't want to. And Amanda has to babysit again.
Right.
And be like, he's not you.
Yeah.
You know, relax.
Right. He doesn't want to. Craig
and what does he do?
When old Kyle fashion, he literally just can't accept it and walks off all pouty.
Yeah, and goes outside. Goes outside and kind of starts whimpering.
And it's just like, he's driving me crazy too, though. It's just like, if Craig doesn't want to talk now, he doesn't have to. And it doesn't really matter to me if Craig does his own thing. He's not part of this show.
Right.
He's part of Southern Charm. He's just an add-on kind of for Summer House. And they all support your stupid bullshit of Loverboy. Ugh. Like, literally everything that Kyle does is Loverboy. This whole show basically is. It's basically like what Roni was with Skinny Girl.
Yes, exactly. I was going to call him the new Bethany.
Right. It's just like everybody's supposed to wear all of your merch and shit. Everybody's supposed to drink Loverboy. Nobody can drink anything else.
Even if you don't like it.
Right. And it's just like, people can do other things. He's not even part of your cast.
Right.
And you're like trying to get him to not do any sort of spritzer or anything adjacent.
Right. No, he's very controlling. He has to control everything. And it would drive me insane.
Mm-hmm. So after this whole thing with Craig and Kyle's over, Paige and Craig are talking, and Paige mentions that Craig was making her anxious by not having the conversation with Kyle, and mentions that she's mad at Craig for other issues in their relationship. This is very much looking like she was done at this point already, because I didn't think that there was anything really wrong with Craig being like, dude, let's have the conversation tomorrow.
I think putting it off just makes everybody have to wait. I get why he might not have wanted to. I think at some point he's like, this is not going to be a short conversation. It's going to take a while. We're sitting down to eat. I want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with Kyle for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I get it. At the same time, I think Paige is kind of over Craig.
That's what I think
And
too.
so maybe she's looking for things that she can use to kind of end it.
I kind of feel like she's doing that a little bit. Because if I was Craig, I would not want to talk to a drunken Kyle who's going to just go on and on and on for, talking about his side. I would rather have him be as sober as we can get him.
And I mean, I had said it, earlier, but he's just seeing Paige. He lives in Charleston, so he's seeing Paige. He wants to be with her.
Right.
And I don't really think he cares what Kyle thinks.
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
So it's just not that important to him. You do your thing, I do mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, towards the end of the episode, it kind of comes up again. Paige and Craig have another talk about their relationship, and yeah, it just seems like they're kind of off base. They're not connecting, I don't think. Paige is in one spot, Craig's in another, and it's not lining up.
Yeah. It's been 3 years, which is a long time. And when you're starting to go different directions, at least she's smart enough to know that I can't marry this guy.
Mm-hmm. The last thing that we'll talk about this episode is about Jesse. And West and Jesse, I thought, were kind of funny this episode because Lexi wasn't there, so they pushed their beds together. And West is glad Lexi isn't here this weekend, so he has his friend back.
I know. I thought that was actually cute.
I thought it was so funny. I love that they pushed their beds together. That whole thing just was so funny to me.
It really is.
Like, okay, good. I can share a room with him, and I don't have to worry about her,
right.
popping in, which is a bad sign for Lexi, because if already West after 2 weeks is like, I don't want you here, that's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not good for the best friend to not like your girl. And I don't think he doesn't like her. He probably likes her fine, but
right.
For you only knowing somebody 2 weeks, it's probably a lot for the wingman.
So Jesse kind of mentions that he feels caught in between Sierra and West and wants to try and mend it. I don't know why Jesse feels that the way to try and mend it is jumping on Sierra while she's laying in the float. But I guess that's his way of wanting to make things okay. I
don't know. He can't control himself.
I know.
Yeah, the whole scene with the two of them on the pool float, lounging around, Sierra's just laying there. And then at one point, Jesse's like, this is giving me a boner. And she's like, what, my leg? He's like, yeah, you're just sexy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then literally rolls over on top of her and kisses her shoulder.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know on what planet that's cool if you're in a are you not in a relationship?
Right. I don't know. It's like, yeah, do you not want to be with Lexi, or do you? I mean, because it's fine if you don't, because it's been 2 weeks, but would you stop telling her that, you're
Trust
into
you?
her? Yeah.
Well, it's just like, if this is what he's doing when you're not there, this is being filmed. What's he doing when you're not being filmed?
Good point.
I don't know. Like, just say what you want. You're telling her to trust you, and then, you're laying on top of other chicks. Like,
I know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you're playing games like an idiot, and like, don't do that. Don't mess with people. Because Sierra says that they flirt, but she literally has absolutely zero intention behind it.
Right.
And she actually, though, believes that if she made a move that Jesse would like 90% take it.
I think he would too.
Yeah. So we have this scene, and then Jesse says, which is also confusing, that he isn't going to get any numbers from any girls at the party or do anything to jeopardize his relationship with Lexi because he misses her. Well, you're already jeopardizing your relationship by laying on top of Sierra.
Right. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't consider that a big deal because his intention wasn't to do anything.
I don't know how telling somebody that you have a boner isn't
right.
Doesn't mean anything.
Fair.
But that's just me. Consider me old-fashioned, I guess. I feel like that would entail, you know, that you're into me. But okay.
Yeah.
So after all of this kind of happened in the episode with Jesse, you and I were kind of talking about are they still together? I don't know if, Lexi's still into Jesse, if they ended up making it work.
Right.
And you had posted on Watch What Happens Live, Amanda thought Jesse and Sierra should give it a go, which makes me think Jesse and Lexi don't last. Anyone have any relationship tea on them? And Prostitution Whore said...
No, say it correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Do your best, Teresa.
Prostitution whore.
Yeah, that's how you gotta say it.
They replied with, he follows her, but she doesn't follow him. I think that probably says it all. And also the fact that she cut Sierra out of the photo of all the entire cast in the pool.
Yeah. So
and the men, too. She cut the men out, too.
Yeah, because there were actually 2 photos.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw the one photo where you can see a little snippet of a pool float, and that was the post that Lexi used.
Yeah.
And that was actually Jesse in the float next to her. Mm-hmm. So he was cut out. Then there was a second photo of this almost the same identical picture.
Yeah.
But Sierra was in front of Jesse's float. So Lexi chose the picture that Sierra wasn't in and then cut Jesse out. So, yeah. I mean, the fact that she doesn't follow him anymore is pretty telling, I would imagine.
I think so, too. And sorry, Lexi, I think you might be a one-hit wonder here, because if you're not good with Sierra and you're not good with Jesse, you really have nobody left here. And I don't care enough to see you come back and, try to fight with him. I don't care. So
I don't know how she is with the other women. I have no idea, but it just doesn't bode well when the main girls might be friendly to your face, but like talk mad shit about you when they're not with you. So
yeah, they're gonna pick Sierra. So
yeah.
You're out of luck. So then in next week's episode, it's going to be Kyle and Craig talking. I don't know how long it'll be. It might be the whole episode.
God, spare me.
Because Kyle likes to ramble. So we'll see. We'll see how long. Hopefully it's shorter than half the episode.
Hope so.
Let's talk about this week's episode of Atlanta. And we're kind of going to just skim through the episode here a little bit and pick out the most important parts, and we'll end with Kelli's Balmain shopping event.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. There were some interesting points, so
yeah.
I think we can make those, but we don't have too much.
No. So we'll start with Britt, and this is actually how the episode starts as well. And it's her eating dinner with her man and family. Mm-hmm. And Britt mentions that she has issues with her sisters about her insurance company that she started. One left the business because she said that Britt was too hard on her. And the other, Britt fired.
Yeah, so clarify for me. They didn't go into business with her. They worked for her?
Yes, it seemed that way. Yes, she started the company. It wasn't like a split 3 ways type deal.
This is really tricky because I don't know if she was hard on them because they didn't do work or took advantage of her because she was the boss and the owner.
It seemed like that's what she was alluding to. I felt like that, at least.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. How do you fire a sibling? I mean, having one quit is kind of awful, but then to fire the other one?
I know.
I don't know. I don't know if I could get over that. Be like firing my daughter. Would you get over me firing you?
I don't know. Depends on what I'm missing out on, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tricky.
I mean, I guess if it's a sinking ship, then let me go. But, if...
It's definitely awkward. It would certainly put a strain on their relationship.
Yeah. Well, it just seems weird, too, that both of them don't work for you anymore.
Yes.
That's what's weird.
Yes.
Is that it's not like one left and the other one is still there. Mm-hmm. They both had issues with you.
Right.
So you seem like the odd one out here.
Fair point.
Next, we'll kind of get into talking about Drew, Cynthia, Angela, and Kenya. And they all met at the recording studio that Drew was singing at.
Yeah.
And Dennis was not there.
Interesting. No, he was not.
Right. I guess she didn't get the release from him to film with her.
Right.
He had to leave.
Portia threatened him.
And then the scene starts literally with Drew saying that she doesn't ever talk to Dennis on the phone, that they only text. And then a flashback from only 2 weeks ago pops up with them talking on the phone.
Yeah.
So this actually I thought was interesting to Cynthia's point last episode where she's like, Drew can fib. She's kind of got a lying thing where she, does this season after season. And Kenya kind of backs up the fact that Drew does lie because she was kind of asking her, did you talk to Portia? Have you talked to her yet? What's going on? And Drew kind of keeps saying that she's like, well, I'm trying to get in touch with her and I haven't been able to. And Cynthia's like, if you wanted to get in touch with her, you would just call her and that would be it. You're trying to set up meetings and you're trying to do this. It's not working. Just call her and tell her.
I guarantee you, if she left a message saying, hey, Portia, I've been in contact with Dennis. He wants to produce a song for me, but I want to talk to you about it. She would call her back mid-message.
Yeah.
So she should have just done that.
Right.
And Cynthia had a really interesting point, too, which was that when Kenya was doing her pilot for this TV show she wanted, Life Twirls On, she wanted Cynthia's ex-husband, Leon. Now, were they married?
Yes.
Okay, they were married.
Yeah.
So she wanted him to be the lead role. And she contacted Cynthia and said, are you okay with this? Mm-hmm. And Cynthia thought it was respectful and necessary. And Cynthia did say, when you're dealing with, the father of your child, then it's important for all of this to be worked out. Mm-hmm. And so Kenya did that. And Drew needed to.
Yes, she did need to. It's clear that she was not specific in what she wanted to talk to Portia about. It could have been anything.
Right.
Like, Portia, call me.
Yeah.
About what? I mean, I tell people to call me about, random shit.
It could be about naked hair. It could be about anything. And she's like...
Right, yeah, I know, because
this
they
can
work
wait.
together. Yeah, so
right.
It could absolutely have been about that. Sure.
Or something completely stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Which is also acceptable, too.
It is.
Another thing that came out of this episode, too, was Angela was kind of telling a story about how Charles was at a game at Madison Square Garden and the owners had him thrown out. And she said, which I thought was really, really weird, that he needed to heal and I couldn't heal him, so they lived apart. What the hell does that mean? What are you talking about? Because he got thrown out of the game that you needed to heal from that? I don't understand.
I have no idea. I mean, I suppose since I know he played for the Bulls. Did he play for the Knicks too? There were two teams he played for. And it sounded like he had a pretty contentious relationship with the owner of the Knicks. Mm-hmm. So him being at Madison Square Garden, he might not have expected that, but they had him thrown out. I guess that's embarrassing, but you have to split up with your wife because of it?
Right. That's what's so weird. Healing. What type of healing do you have to do? It's
bizarre.
Right. It's like a one article thing you got thrown out and then that's about it. Like we kind of move on with the rest of your day, right?
Right? I don't know. That was weird. And for how long?
Right.
How long did he need to heal? This sounds like, what's his face from Summer House? Carl.
No kidding, right? Well, and then she also thought it was funny is that she mentions a vow renewal, and I'm thinking in my head, no. That is the absolute kiss of death, especially on these shows. So clearly this alluded to a problem that they had. And this was early on when they were married, too, she said. So a vow renewal is not going to fix anything. And they will, if they have one, they will be...
It's against his will.
Yeah, it's against his will. And they will be divorced within like a year. Like somebody will file because there is no way vow renewals go well. It's basically like your last hope to try to save something.
I just don't get it when the man doesn't want to participate in it. He keeps stalling on it. He's not interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, he's probably thinking this is just going to cost me more money.
Yeah.
So why do it?
It's just for an appearance thing. So you can literally appear to people that you're so in love and that you're so happy that you're together, that type of deal. It's like, you're not.
It never works. Just go on a second honeymoon then.
Right, just do something. Yeah, have a party, whatever. Yeah. Like, what do you got to do this for? It doesn't fool anybody. You're not fooling me.
We're on to you.
Now we'll get into the main part of the episode, which was Kelli's shopping party at Balmain. And she's throwing a cute little mommy and me shopping event. And apparently 3 of her 4 daughters have osteogenesis imperfecta, which basically just means brittle bones. And I didn't know 3 of them did. I was shocked to hear that
right.
It's that genetic, I guess, that it could be through almost all of your kids.
Yeah, well, 2 of them are twins, so...
Oh, you're right, 2 of them are twins. That would make sense then.
But, yeah, that's what the event's for. All the proceeds are going towards that. It was a really crazy story, too, how she took her daughter to the hospital, and I don't know if it was more than once, so they started seeing a pattern and thought there might have been some sort of abuse.
Yeah.
But that was scary.
Yeah.
And thankfully the doctor knew exactly what he was talking about, and it didn't go any farther. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's got to be rough.
Well, that's got to be rough, too, to be accused of that and be like, I know I don't abuse my kid. You think I do. And
how do I prove this?
Yeah, how do you prove that you didn't?
Right. That's why having a knowledgeable doctor was like a gift from heaven.
So Kelli kind of gives her speech about this and about the event and what it's for and that all the proceeds are going towards this disease. And Drew still isn't there. Noticeably, Drew isn't there still.
Right.
And I'm like, where the hell are you? And what was so funny is that Portia said, yeah, Drew has my makeup artist. So he was at her house first and she was stalling. So he got to my house late, but Portia was there on time. And I'm like, where is Drew? You had your makeup done early and everybody else was there before you.
And you know Portia wasn't going to be late again. No. Because she was 3 hours late to Shamia's party. Right. She's not going to show up again late. That would be awful. So she's like, no, just touch me up. I got to go. Yeah. And she was on time. And she looked beautiful.
And Drew looks like she didn't quite finish getting ready and getting dressed because she left her shirt wide open with her bra. I'm like, this is a new look. Like, why? I don't know why she thinks that's considered a top. It is not. And we're going to keep seeing it this season.
It's clearly her look of the season because this is the 2nd episode in a row where she was in a white bra and then a black bra. So, I don't know.
So we had a couple of like little fights here at the party. Shamia and Angela kind of get into it, and it's clear that they're not going to get along this season. Shamia goes on to mention Angela's 90s nose in her confessional and to her face at the party.
I will say, I'm not super comfortable talking about somebody's looks. It was kind of funny that she mentioned the Jacksons because, you know, LaToya, Michael, and Janet all had nose jobs, but Portia coming in with hee
Yeah.
just cracked me up. Actually, I think Angela's beautiful, and I'm not gonna, talk about her appearance that way, but that just cracked me up.
I know it was, but yeah, that's what backup does. That's what good backup does. When you have a good friend like that, they come in for
Yeah,
oh, God,
and then
so
I think Angela called her Flavor Flav.
Yeah,
but
that didn't really have the same effect.
No, I didn't. I didn't get it. Was she talking about her looks or that she's loud?
I guess I think that she was referring to her looks and then tried to backpedal with that she was loud.
Okay.
I think it was.
I don't know. I love Flavor Flav, so
Oh yeah, you're picking the wrong person if you want it to be an insult.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. So okay.
So we had that fight going, and then not even necessarily really a fight, but Drew wanted to talk to Portia, and Portia was not having it, especially because she saw Drew's sister kind of lingering around the party here, and she's like, okay, I think you guys are going to try to double team me here. Like, your sister's going to sit in, and I'm going to have to defend myself against both of you, and I'm not doing it.
Right, which is probably smart. Plus, it was a great event. All the kids were there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, they all looked so sweet in matching dresses with their
did.
moms.
So
I mean,
cute.
it was a really cute event. So I actually don't think it was the place for it.
No. The one time where not
Exactly.
the place.
Not the
actually-
time, not the place. Yeah.
actually worked. In the sneak peek for next week, we see that Kenya is having her grand opening for Kenya Moore Hair Spa, and we know that that's where shit goes down.
Yeah, big time.
And it looks like they have a dinner beforehand where she invites everybody to come to the grand opening, and her and Britt seem to get into it here.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing some sort of game because
Yeah.
Britt has a piece of paper in her hand, like as though she's reading a question, and maybe she asked it of Kenya, or maybe they went around the table. We don't know. It was really short, but her and Kenya, it doesn't go well. Kenya says something like, peasants don't come for queens.
Yeah.
And then Britt's like, screw you, bitch, or something like that. I mean, she
Right.
calls her a bitch. So I don't know how bad it gets, but it must have been pretty bad because
It will only get worse.
I can't believe that Kenya did this thing with the photos at her event, at her own event.
I know. I mean, what a terrible look for your own event to have your name on that everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that you're the one that
I mean,
did
we
that.
still don't know what happened yet. So, I mean, people are siding with both of them. And,
really?
well, Portia wants Kenya back. So.
Oh, I thought you meant like just people like, I didn't know you meant the cast. I thought you meant like people online. or
No,
anything.
nobody's seen it yet. So we don't know. But we just know that the picture was of Britt giving some guy oral.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Where'd she find that? In a
I don't know. That's awful personal.
right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It would be one thing if it was just a nude because maybe she posed for
Yeah.
a magazine, but, so what?
Right, that would have been done for a magazine. Nobody cares. It would
No,
have been
and it would have been a
published.
professional picture, too.
Right, so
So you're probably looking amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
This, does anybody look amazing doing that?
Oh God. Yeah.
So awkward.
Very much so.
God, I can't wait.
Thanks for listening to episode 42 of Nice-ish. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, or Blue Sky at Nice-ish Podcast or at Love Cindy C. You can listen to Nice-ish wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Look for new episodes every Monday. Thank you for listening and have a nice-ish day.